Email for you, Rick. One more. So, this is a bit more of one that I think you actually really need to think about this seriously, Rick. It is from someone who I won't name. Dear Rick, I work in administration in a world number 100 golf course in Australia.
Okay.
One of my jobs is to pay out the winners of the weekday and weekend competitions. I noticed that our father and son seem to be winning lots of prizes, but only when they played on their own.
Uh-oh.
I looked into it and spent a long time compiling their rounds and points scored in Stableford competitions. When they play on their own, they average 8.3 to 9 points higher per round compared to when playing with other members. The father seemed to win the nearest to pin only when playing with his son. I brought this information to the club captain and board of management. They agreed there was evidence of cheating, but decided not to do anything about it. No fine, no ban, nothing. I feel like after stealing money from deserving members, they deserve to be kicked out of the golf club. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what we should do.
I like his dedication.
I love his dedication.
I like the fact he's emailed in.
Well, and firstly, that is what I do. That is one of the things with, I'm sure lots of people who are members of golf clubs are fully aware of. When you are a member of a golf club, you can book on to play often who you want to, unless it's a board comp, something that's drawn. And if you want to play with your son or your father, and you are both members of the golf club, that is allowed. And if you decide to, if nobody joins you, then there's two of you. And as golfers, we trust your integrity.
Top 100 course in the world.
Australia, I think.
Top 100 in Australia.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. I'm guessing it's the top 100 in the world, but in Australia.
So I'm just going to try and do some investigation here. Now, listen, obviously, there's clear signs of something being quite dodgy there. And it's difficult because certainly there is no rule to say you can't play golf with your sibling or you can't play golf with your son or daughter or your father or mother. There's no rules to say you can't do that. So technically, it's going to be very difficult to catch them because you can't really, unless, well, you can't. Like, how are you actually ever going to prove that?
Cameras.
Well, that's the only way.
Yeah.
The only way would be to, I think one of the ways would be start off with the nearest pin because that's quite easy to kind of capture.
Yeah.
If you know that he's likely to win a nearest the pin, can you set up a camera?
You could do.
You could say it's a new live feed that we're going to... I don't know. I think it's very difficult to catch them out.
The thing is, from what he's saying, I would imagine it's correct and they are cheating the system, which is really bad.
I also agree.
However, my caveat, and it is not the case, but I reckon you could have this exact incident 100 times and there might be one where it genuinely is a case of the father and son nervous playing with other people, but when they play together, they feel much more relaxed and therefore play better golf. Maybe.
One of breakfast balls and gimmies and all
that. But reality, and I won't obviously name any names, but many, many, many years ago now, I got asked to play with a certain member because people were worried about them cheating. And I played with said person in the club championship to the point where, I was probably never going to win anyway, but I played and my game really was watching them, everything they did. Did they prefer a lie? Did they do anything to watch them like a hawk? And they didn't cheat once and they won it genuinely. And therefore, my conscience as well, that if I've seen them win club champs playing properly, there's no reason why they won't play properly in every other competition. So, clubs do sometimes do things about it that nobody else knows about that's very hush-hush and maybe only one other member knows or whatever. But it's a hard one, isn't it?
So someone was perceived as being
There was a member who was a good golfer. But there was people who wondered whether they were cheating a little bit. So I got asked by someone who I can't name, who was very important in the golf club, to play with said person in the club championship and just to make sure that they weren't doing anything dodgy. Wow. So I did that and played with them for 2 rounds. Then went on to win the club championship, I think they did. And I could confirm and, I was confident that they didn't do anything dodgy. Well, they didn't do, from what I saw. Well, they didn't do. End of story.
Pay you off.
Yeah. For a box of Pro V1s, X. But no, whether they have in other incidents cheated or not, I don't know. And that's sometimes what you see, that there is sometimes tales of very good golfers who do something a little bit dodgy. And you wonder really why. And I think it's the thing with golf. If you play football, whether it be professionally or in a Saturday or Sunday league, and I kicked the ball out of play and you went to tackle me, I would always put my hand up and claim it was you that did it. That's just the culture of football, isn't it? Or if I head it out, say, no, it came off him, ref, and try and win, or we dive, whatever. That's what seems to be ingrained in football. And I don't think any footballer would ever go home and think, shouldn't have won that penalty that Harry Kane went on to score because I didn't actually really fall over. They're thinking I got the 3 points for the team. But golf feels different. I think golf has always had that integrity that we all could cheat. Every golfer that plays golf could go into the fairway and give the ball a little bit of a preferred lie. Or they could, or they could go into the trees and find the ball that everyone else thought they lost, or whatever it might be. There's ways that every single golf could do it. But if you do that and you have a good round, that feeling must just be like, well, it's not real. So it's kind of like, what is the point? And if your point is to win competitions and win prize money, that feels like that's theft. That is a very...
The thing is, you are stealing.
Of course you are.
You are, and you see it in these charity golf events.
Yeah.
Because we played in a charity golf event the other day. It was a couple of weeks ago. And it's now quite common to have a handheld device that goes around with you, and you put your scores in during the round. And after the 15th hole, the device stops showing everybody else's scores, so you can't kind of cheat on the last few holes. How mad is that?
Is it not also to keep anticipation up?
It could be. I think it's more, it's there as a bit of a safety gap to go, oh, they've had 90 points. Let's make sure we have 91.
That's true.
Someone actually said, I don't know if they might have sent me an email or a message, they said, a really way of easily combating this, certainly in charity golf events, is just take the top 3 and make them go out on the golf course in front of everyone and play like a playoff hole. I don't think they cheat then.
Yeah.
Because for the fact of them wanting to go out and play in front of actual people, it's just taking it a bit away from
as well. I know it's
a fun charity event to raise money for a good cause, but I think often golf days have fantastic prizes and people are just kind of stealing them.
The other thing as well with golf days, as much as I've had some great fun at golf days, the handicaps are just a farce, because people often play in golf days, which is great, by the way, who are casual golfers who might play in that same golf day every year, and that's kind of it. And they'll rock up and they're like, what are you playing off, John? Put me off 24. Where actually they've been the range a few times and they're quite sporty and they can actually comfortably shoot an 18 over, no danger. So it's not a real handicap, is it? And you get that a bit less, I think, at club level, albeit I'm sure there'll be people listening to this thinking, we've got bandits at our club. But typically, if you're playing a lot of club golf, you should have a more accurate handicap. But these people that do play charity days and stuff, I think that's the good thing with golf, but the bad thing that with golf, you have handicaps, it makes it so much fairer and means you can play till the end of your days, or you can be 3 years old and play. But at the same time, it's the thing that is always there that can be a bit dodgy.
Yes. And you can, like say, you can win some incredible prizes. Handicapped events can win outrageous prizes, and you just cheating the system.
What would be then a way of having a competition where there's no handicaps, but obviously if it was just a straight up stroke play, there'd only be a handful of people who'd be competitive. So the vast majority would be like, well, I'm not playing, or this is boring. How could you have a day where there's no handicaps, but yet it still is somehow fun and competitive? That's why putting comps are good. I love a putting, because putting comps, everyone.
It's level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot more level. You can be a great putter and rubbish at golf.
About last to lose a ball.
Yeah.
Everyone just be chipping little shots in front of them. It is frustrating. And going back to the question that's come in from email, thanks so much for the email. If you want to email podcast@richshiels.com, it's tough. It's tough to be able to prove that they have cheated unless you have real, clear evidence. And sometimes, you know what, golf courses just don't want the politics of it all either. They don't want to have to kick someone out.
Strange, isn't it? Because ultimately they're a customer as well.
Well, in theory, they'd be kicking 3 people out. The dad, the daughter, and the son.
Was there a daughter?
I think they was playing a daughter at one point. No, I made that up.
Well, kick the daughter out as well. She's part of the family. She's out. She's gone. And why don't I read the wife? You're banned.
You're all banned.